But Toklo was a cunning boy. He was as smart as he was fast, and solving problems brought him joy.
Let's begin! XING The Land Beyond is a puzzle game. The main aim is to help a golem store people's energy. There are 4 main people to help in total, and each one has their own storyline and area to explore. Each story is presented on a different type of material, which makes each one feel more personal. When these are interacted with, they tell parts of these people's story in the form of poetry. The voice heard expressing each feel-good message is very calm and relaxing.
Hanging alone in the sky, a fate shared by the moon and I.
Or it's told in a wise and reflective manner.
I love my wife, and she loved the trees. She loved the flowers and the bees.
To hear all of each one's story and to store their energy, you will need to solve many puzzles. A lot of the puzzles revolve around a day and night cycle, as when it's a certain time, different things will become activated in the world, such as platforms that raise or buttons that can be pushed. You always know what time of the day it has to be for them to become active, thanks to a sun or moon symbol on them. You don't have control of the time whenever you want though, as you must stand on a platform to cycle between the 2 times. Not only can you switch between day and night, but you also have control over different weather types, such as rain, snow and wind. These are activated in the same way as the day and night cycle. Simply standing on their respective platform will fill the world with their effect. The fact that they too can only be activated when stood on a platform creates small maze-like level layouts. For example, a door may only be unlocked in the daytime, but to get to that door, you must have it raining, as the rain creates a flood and raises up platforms for you to reach the door. The puzzles certainly get more intricate the further you are in the game, but luckily, there's usually a tip fountain nearby. Standing by one reveals a very small hint, but it's often just enough to push the player in the right direction of the puzzle solution. You can jump in the game, so there is some minor platforming moments to be had here, but they're never that hard at all, even when playing with the Move controllers. The game does have smooth turning with both the DualShock and Move controllers, but unfortunately, I didn't realise this until the end of my playthrough. How I'm turning in this footage is by holding the Move button down and then dragging the Move left and right depending on what direction I want to face. It wasn't too bad, but smooth turning is obviously the better option. You can also play the game seated, thanks to being able to adjust your height in the options menu, and also because you can pick up objects that are far away from you. Objects that can be picked up in the world also play a part in the puzzle solving. Some can be set alight, which can then be used to light torches or burn a new opening, resulting in access to new areas. Although some of these objects are required to be thrown to activate something, they can also encourage a bit of mindless fun due to their placement. It's very tempting to pick up a coconut when you cross paths with it and then bounce it along some rocks in the hopes that it will finally land in some water. Its reaction with the world is realistic too, as surprisingly, it does float. It may not seem like much, but when something does react properly in a virtual space that you don't usually expect to see, it just elevates the world you're in even more. Each of the 4 main areas you visit are vastly different from one another and are all beautiful to look at in their own right. Great care has obviously gone into each of these locations, and even the backgrounds often contain story elements. No matter where you look, you're always rewarded. Different weather types not only play a part in the puzzles, but they can also drastically change the look of an area. For example, when it snows, the ground textures change to snow-filled lands, and waterfalls freeze up. It's so magical to see this happen right before your eyes, in a virtual space. Even when the day and night cycle changes, it can also drastically change the mood of each area. Not only is the game visually a treat, but the music that accompanies each place is expertly picked and crafted. Each area contains optional puzzles to complete. Completing these will reward you with a golden rune. These runes could be placed on one of the main puzzles, but getting to them requires an even more thoughtful solution. It's always an excellent increase in challenge, and sometimes the runes appear in a whole new puzzle by themselves. Your progress with collectibles can always be viewed in the options menu, and it's laid out in such a way so that you know roughly where in the level you have missed something. It makes cleanup that much easier at the end of the game, and I wish this guidance appeared in all games that have collectibles. These rooms are absolutely worth collecting too, as they allow you to open up doors in the bonus area that is found in the main hub world. Behind these doors are mini stories of other people, and are just as engaging as the main stories. They also contain whole new visually amazing areas to explore and puzzles to solve. It's really more of the main game, and in this case, it's only a good thing. It took me just under 8 hours to beat the game, and in that time, I did also complete a couple of the extra mini stories. If you're going for platinum in this game, you're certainly going to be invested in a few more hours here. There isn't a whole lot to go into detail about the trophy list, but that doesn't mean it's a bad one. It's actually a very good one. To achieve the platinum, you will need to read every part of each person's story, collect every gold rune, and then the rest will either require small actions to perform or will unlock naturally. The main reason why this is a great trophy list is because collecting for golden runes requires extra and tougher puzzles to be solved. This platinum is certainly one to be proud of. If you're looking to wind down and relax after a stressful day, this is absolutely the game for you. It can certainly feel like a form of meditation on many levels. If you're not feeling a sense of joy here, you're feeling ever so slightly wiser from the stories that are being told. The puzzles can get quite hard later on in the game though, which does make the peacefulness die down slightly. The challenge increase is very good though, but I'm just worried some may find a couple of puzzles here a bit tricky and not continue on. It would be such a shame to give up too, because you would be missing out on some of the most lovingly crafted environments that you can currently visit on the PSVR. In the fourth world, where wind is introduced as an element to solve puzzles with, I really did get flashbacks of the Legend of Zelda series, and it actually got me thinking, quite a lot of the puzzles do have Zelda elements to them, so if you're a fan of that series, I'm sure you will find something to like here. One of the first things I done when entering the first world was grab the first shellfish I saw and held it up to my ear, and I was pleasantly surprised to hear the sound of the ocean. This game certainly entices your playful side to come out during the small walks to the next puzzle. Overall, if you like to feel good when playing games, then look no further than XING for Land Beyond. Nothing comes close to the peaceful feeling this game has on the PSVR at this moment in time, and the messages it wants to share should be heard by everyone. This game really does tick every box for a puzzle game. The challenge is great, the collectibles are meaningful and are rewarded appropriately, and the visuals are just incredible. I honestly can't praise this game enough. If you found this review helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more PSVR content.